Good afternoon, YouTube. So it's about 2:30 right now. So I know I'm going to get a couple comments, or if you're here just to look at my setup, because this video I'm going to go over my 2025 setup. It's going to say update because it is different from the video that I posted a few months ago. I'll put like a screenshot of it. If you guys wanted to see like the original setup or how it was before, this time it's a little bit different. I've added a couple of weed eaters. Now I have the logo behind it. So this is what I've been running for this season. It is the end of July, so next week will be August. So we only have 3 more months of the season here where I'm at. And typically November we'll switch over to mulching up leaves, or towards the end of October. Crazy summer. We're still getting a good bit of rain here in Georgia where I'm at. But if you're in a situation like where I am, where you only have like 8-9 months worth of work doing this, starting today, if not even a month or 2 ago, like, you need to start putting money aside, because all this money that we're getting is going to come to an end. And it's going to suck, but it's part of the process, unless you have like a contract where you work all year round, and you might be doing like bi-weekly all year round, or you might be doing weekly during the growing season, and then you switch over to bi-weekly during the off season. And then some people, again, it's your business, you run it how you want it. And that's the beauty about it, is that if you have contracts where you go bi-weekly during the winter, you're essentially making money not doing anything and just showing up to show up, pretty much. But anyways, a couple comments pointed out what could be wrong with my AC. So I did get my truck back, obviously. So the issue that I was facing now was that this side was blowing like cool air, and then that side was blowing like ice cold air. Luckily I took it to a mechanic shop, so I called them, be like, hey, it's been a couple weeks that I've gotten my truck back, it's still not working properly, one side is blowing colder than the other side. And they said, drop it off, we'll look at it. And I think one of them actually got it right, but you can see right here, let's see, it says they reprogrammed the blend door accutators. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but you can read it. And they charged me $0 because they charged me $900 when I first took it. So that was pretty cool. And and when I told the wife, I was like, oh, they're not charging me, she's like, well, they shouldn't, because you paid for it already. I was like, I know, but they could have easily been like, well, now it's this problem, and the part is X amount of dollars more. So I don't know if it could have been they just hooked it up to a computer and they just reset it and now it works, but it hasn't given me any issues. But anyways, let's get it. So we'll start off with the truck. This is a 2016 Silverado 1500. I bought it last year, no issues. So it's giving me issues with like the AC mainly, and then everything else has been maintenance wise and whatnot, brakes, oil change, etc. Nothing too crazy yet. And then this is obviously my 2025 setup for 2 people, but obviously you can rent 3 people or solo and whatnot. So right off the bat, I'm running 2 BR800Cs. I believe these are top of the lines for steel, and I'm not going to go into pricing because I'll do a separate video where I kind of dive into how much I spent on each product, and then y'all can have a general idea of how much I've invested back into my business, or how much my my setup has cost me. I do get a lot of comments about what blower racks I use, because it looks nice. It's not too bulky, it looks clean. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these 2 to the front next year. Right now it is what it is, but it's trimmer trap. So if you go to trimmertrap.com, you can find these blower racks and my trimmer rack. These blower racks are specifically for the 800 steel backpack blowers. The cool thing about these blowers is that they have the side pull, because you'll have clients coming out here and they want to talk to you, and pretty much to turn it off, you click this guy down and then it'll shut off. And when you're done talking to them, with your other hand, you don't have to take off the backpack blower. You just pull it and it'll turn on. So it's a pretty neat feature. I am going to eventually down the road change or switch over to Echo, the 9010Ts, or just run Echo 9010Ts. I wouldn't be surprised in a couple years from now I'm running all Echo and I'm pretty much just done with steel. But I've had one of these blowers, I believe that one, for 2 years, no issues. Or 3 years, hasn't given me any issues. This is going on its 2nd year, no issues whatsoever. I've never taken them to my dealer for any maintenance or anything. I just changed the filter, and that's pretty much it. They work amazing, so no complaints. I just need something a little bit more heavy duty, because come winter, as you can see all these leaves, gets a little crazy for cleanups and whatnot. So the 9010Ts are, it has more torque and more power and whatnot from what I'm hearing. So I used to run the 111 RX. I'll take like a screenshot, or I'll put something up there so you guys can kind of compare. I think all these trimmers pretty much cost the same, about like close to $500. And the 111 RX were constantly giving me issues. I think I got like 1.5 years out of them, which in my opinion, it's not that great, because, you know, if I'm going to spend $500, I expect it to last a little bit longer. So I think for both of them, I had 2 of them. So both of them, I think I took them to the shop 3 times. And then after that 3rd time for both of them, I'm like, I'm done taking them, because that's just, you know, I'm just wasting my time. Luckily, when you buy new, it'll come under warranty. So my dealer didn't charge me to fix them. They just fixed it. You know, it would take like a week or 2, sometimes 3 weeks, depending how back up they are. But I will say, as you can tell, I don't run, I mean, I take off the guard instantly, because you're able to feed more wire. It just depends, you know, if you're pretty good at weed eating, I would say you can take it off. But if you're a beginner or it's your first weed eater, keep it on until you feel comfortable to take it off. I would say, you know, a couple months, because I did break one window. I've only broken one window once, and it was like $400 that I had to fix. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm running 2 2620Ts Echo weed eaters. No issues. I've had them for 3 months. They stay on, they turn on. My only complaint is that the gas tank is very small compared to the steel one. With the steel weed eaters, I was able to do like 6, maybe 7 properties before I had to like fill it up. With these 2 guys, we have to fill them up like every like 3 properties. I don't think we could get 4 out of these, just because of how big they are. So what I do is probably every like 2nd property, I'm having to fill it up, which is not like terrible, but you know, when you're doing like 15, 20 properties, I'm sure you know, you get a little irritated from time to time. But they work great. They stay on great. They do what they're supposed to do. And I am running the Steel FC91 Edger. I don't know if it's just steel in general, but same thing. Like, if I'm not holding the throttle down when it's on, it's gonna turn off on me. You know, we only use it for, you know, at the beginning of each property, and it, you know, it only takes us like 5 minutes, if that, probably a little bit less, you know, to edge each property. So it's not a big deal, but you know, Jacob and I, whoever's edging, have to constantly hold that throttle, or else it turns off. So like I said, next year I'll probably be running all steel, so we'll see, you know, where we end this year. I do have 2 logo signs that I didn't have in my other video. So pretty much my thinking was, when the gate is down, they won't be able to see my sign. So when neighbors are walking, they can just look on either side of my trailer as they're walking, and they can be like, oh, okay, maybe we should save his number for future services and whatnot, which has worked great. So this is pretty much a walking billboard when I'm driving. So I think this was $500, because I'm sure some people would say like, oh, how much was it? Where did you get it? I made a video I've made a video about this already. I'll put a screenshot of that video too. So go over there, look for it, and then I dive into it. Just and I'm pretty sure I answer most of y'all's questions. So I think I've probably already gotten like 5 or 6 clients from this billboard. It's aluminum, and you can see it's already a little bit dinged from up here. It is slightly too big, but you know, it is what it is. It was expensive, but I think just from the clients that I have gotten, it already paid for itself. So for this one, I just use screws, washers, and then a spacer, which some of y'all recommended, so thank you. And that's the beautiful thing about this. Like I said, it's like, if I don't know nothing, and you know, there's people out there that will genuinely help you, and I'm not prideful, or I don't let my ego get in the way where it's like, nope, it's my way or the highway, or, you know, I know all the answers, I don't need your, you know, your help or whatever. But anyways, I appreciate that. Mowers. So this was my first commercial mower. This was a Skag, or it is a Skag V-Ride 2022, I believe. I opted for the Tweels. And then this one has the Vanguard EFI 37. I don't think you can see it from there, but It just hit 600 hours, so I'm actually gonna do an oil change today, and I gotta do my cut my yard and whatnot. That one I bought new. I financed it with I think a 2% interest, which I am gonna do another video where I compare or I review my mowers. That way, if you guys are thinking about getting a Skag V-Ride, and you guys are doing your research, you get one. Is it reliable? You know, what are guys like me? What's our feedback since we use them pretty much every day? No regrets. I love them. I'm glad that Skag was my first commercial mower, because I'm never going to go with any other commercial mowers ever, just because that's what my dealer has, and it ultimately comes into or it comes down to dealer support. Skag, and then I have the Skag V-Ride 2 as well, but for those cookie cutter yards. So this is the 36-inch Skag V-Ride. Same thing. I mean, I bought this one used during winter. Hasn't given me any issues. I bought it with 30 hours. Now it has about like 85 or 89 hours. No issues so far. I will say the 52, the only issues that it's given me is a constant like oil leak, and I've taken it like 3 times back to my dealer, and they constantly just keep replacing the O-ring. I think one time I had electrical issues where it wouldn't turn on, and I took it back and they fixed it. And that's the beautiful thing about when you buy it new, it's covered under warranty. I believe mine just went out of warranty, so I think moving forward I would have to pay out of pocket, you know, which it is what it is. I did have a Skag V-Ride 48, which I sold about like 2 or 3 months ago. It was pretty much just sitting in my garage, and pretty much I sold it because I used that money to pay off a credit card that just had like 30% interest. It was just crazy and getting out of hand. So, you know, it is what it is. Let me go on the other side. I am thinking of getting the Skag XL for next year. I'm thinking of getting a 61. It'll be slightly bigger, and pretty much it'll help me with my bigger yards. And most likely I'll be running the 61 and the 36, and then the 52 will soon be my backup mower and whatnot. I guess we can talk about this guy. So these, I bought this one new. So this was a Steel HS56. Works great. I was using the Ryobi hedge trimmer for like 2-3 years, and I finally pulled the trigger and bought a commercial hedge trimmer. So I think that one's $500. And then you definitely need a chainsaw, because if someone wants you to cut down a tree, or if a tree fell down and if you have the trailer, they'll ask if you can haul it away, and you can make, you know, a couple $100 and whatnot. This is like an entry level for Steel. I believe it's the MS170. A better chainsaw is on my list, so I think I'm going to be buying, I think it's the 261. I might be wrong, but I think when I was looking into it, it was like $600 to $800. So it's expensive, but I don't know. I just feel like I would definitely get my money down the road eventually, just because we have done a few debris removal where I need a chainsaw. This one works great, but once it overheats, it'll start turning off. So like I said, it's entry level, so I think it was like $200. So, you know, I'm getting for what I paid for and whatnot. And trailer size. So this is a single axle 6.5 by 14-inch trailer. When I first started, I had the 5x8, and then I was thinking about getting a 6x12, and then all my buddies pretty much told me to go bigger, and I listened to them, which I'm glad I did. So I went with the 14 feet or 6.5 by 14 feet trailer. It is a single axle, so come winter I'm going to upgrade my axle so that it can just hold more weight. I think it's like 3,100 pounds right now, but I'm going to upgrade it to like 5,000 or bigger if they offer that option or whatever. I don't know about trailers, so I'm pretty much just going to take it to the shop, and then they'll pretty much tell me what my options are and how much it's going to cost and whatnot. The cool thing about this trailer is that I took it to my local welder, and he added this little rack, which up here I have my gas cans, sprayer, and then all my other chemicals over there. And then on the right side of this guy, it has the gate. So normally this mower is facing sideways, so that I can, when we do use it, we just use a side ramp, and I'm not having to remove I'm not having to move that mower to get to this mower, and it's just a lot of time and money. It was expensive, but it was just a lot of time wasted. The trailer was 1,800. I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace, and it looked brand new. And pretty much to add that, and he added like this little mesh support beam. He charged me 2,400, so it was more than the trailer itself, but it's just convenience. I mean, I'm going to be running this setup for years to come, so I'm pretty sure I already got my money's worth and whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty much my 2025 lawn care setup update. So do I have any regrets? Just the trimmer rack, because they'll like move. Even this one you guys saw earlier kind of like move slightly. So I know there's trimmer racks that have like a little extension here, and it holds it in place where they're not like moving all the way. That's it, just because they'll like be shifting as I'm driving. If I hit a bump, they'll go backwards, which I'm sure in the long run it's going to damage them. I do wish I would have gone with the 16-foot trailer. Even like 2 extra feet. That way I would be running like 3 mowers. I would be running like the 36, 52, 61, or I guess the 36, 61, and 52. But even if they're sideways, I could fit maybe a 48. But like I said, I'm leaning more towards the 61. So I just wish I had those extra 2 feet. At the time, I was kind of anxious and worried about driving a big trailer, because I almost doubled. So I went from a 5x8 to this guy. And I was really worried about getting into those tight neighborhoods or backing up the trailer. And now it's just second nature. I will say the one thing you need, especially during summer, is a good cooler. So my brother actually hooked me up during winter. It was my birthday and he bought me this Yeti cooler. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it just takes time to get to this, to where I'm at. Just keep reinvesting back into your business, and slowly it's going to pay off. And like always, like, subscribe. I did forget to ask. I was using it. Pretty much I got up all the way to our house to blow our gutters, but I was also working on these windows. You definitely need a ladder, because you're going to get some shrubs that are overgrown. Or come winter, if you still want to work, you can offer gutter cleaning services. So I used the little giant ladder. You're able to extend it. It goes up and down. I think it goes like 20 feet. I really don't know. I don't know if it says it. I'll try to find something online where it tells me how long it extends. But pretty much I was able to get to our roof because I literally put it up on the deck, and I was able to go up there. And then I just bought the stabilizer, which you can see on the sides, which I definitely recommend. It was like $80, but it just felt more secure and sturdy. And you definitely want someone holding the ladder at the bottom. I'm no ladder expert, so take it with a grain of salt, but that's just what I did to get to our roof. And then come winter, I do offer a few gutter cleaning services, or I do get a few jobs. Keep some money coming in, and I'm able to give Jacob some hours and whatnot. But anyways, you definitely need a ladder.